I want to ask you a question, a simple question. What happens when a country has no access to the sea? Its goods cost more to transport. Its imports are expensive. Its exports cannot compete. No ports, no ships. Your connection to the world depends on the mercy of your neighbors. Economists call this geographical disadvantage. Colonizers call it destiny. We call it betrayal. Because a country may have no coastline, but it can have roads. It can have infrastructure. It can have corridors that reach the ports. And nobody will gift us those corridors. They will not even lend them to us without conditions. We will build your roads, they say, and then they decide where the roads go. They draw routes that carry our resources to their ports. We are drawing our own routes. I am Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso. I speak from the land of upright men. And today, I will not talk about gold. I will talk about asphalt. Because gold comes from beneath the earth. But without roads to carry it, that gold still serves others. We took back the gold. We nationalized the mines. 94 tons, $18 billion. But if there is no infrastructure to carry that gold to world markets competitively, our revolution remains incomplete. Revolution does not remain incomplete. December 16th, 2025, Yimdi, just outside Ouagadougou. That day, I laid a foundation stone, for the first time in Burkina Faso's history, the foundation of an expressway. 332 kilometers, from Ouagadougou to Bobo-Dioulasso, from the capital to the country's commercial heart, from north to southwest, from Burkina's center to the gateway to the Atlantic. This is not an ordinary road. This is far from ordinary. Understand the scale. A 100-meter wide corridor, 8 lanes, 4 in each direction, 9 two-level interchanges, 28 overpasses, an underpass at the entrance of Bobo-Dioulasso, 140 kilometers per hour speed limit outside urban areas, dedicated lanes for heavy freight, no bottlenecks, no traffic lights, no interruptions. Cost 200 billion CFA francs, $357 million. And now I tell you the most important part. I want your full attention. This expressway is financed entirely with our own money. No World Bank loan, no IMF conditions, no European Development Fund debt, no external borrowing, no Paris Club negotiations. Funds allocated from the 2026 national budget, from revenue generated by Burkina's own people. Let me say it again, slowly. A $357 million 8-lane expressway project, entirely from sovereign resources, without a single cent of foreign debt. Where does this money come from? The answer is simple. It comes from 94 tons of gold, from the mines we nationalized, from Fosomebo's revenues, from the 100 billion CFA francs recovered through our fight against smuggling, from annual mining revenue of 776 to 800 billion CFA francs. The people's gold transformed into the people's road. The equation is that simple. Extract the gold, channel the revenue to the state invests in its people. But for 60 years, this equation was never applied. Why? Because others extracted the gold, others took the revenue, and nothing was left for the people. Let us look at the past. Burkina Faso's total road network is 15,000 kilometers. How much of it is paved? 4,000 kilometers, 27%. The rest is dirt road. When the rainy season comes, mud that swallows trucks, rots produce, blocks ambulances from reaching the sick, keeps children from reaching school. 60 years since independence, 60 years. Every government said we will build roads. Every election campaign promised asphalt. What happened? Private companies, mostly French, mostly European, demanded 500 million to 1 billion CFA francs per kilometer. 1 kilometer of road for 1 billion CFA francs. The state budget could not afford it. So what did they do? They went to the World Bank, applied to the IMF, took loans, with interest, with conditions, with structural adjustment programs. And what did structural adjustments say? Cut social spending, reduce the health budget, spend less on education, fire public workers, privatize. We will give you money for roads, but in return, open your economy to us. Were roads built? On paper, yes. In reality, 4,000 kilometers in 60 years, out of a 15,000-kilometer network. And most of those 4,000 kilometers are neglected, full of potholes, tires burst, axles break, accident rates far above the African average. Let me make a comparison. Senegal built the Ila-Touba motorway, 113 kilometers, cost $1.2 billion. Funding, foreign debt, China Exim Bank and the French Development Agency. Kenya built the Nairobi-Mombasa Expressway with Chinese credit. Costs exceeded estimates. Repayments squeezed the country. Ethiopia built Addis Ababa ring roads, again with foreign debt. Result? Debt trap. Infrastructure exists, but independence does not. We are building 332 kilometers, 8 lanes, $357 million with our own money. No debt, no conditions, no dependency. This 60-year failure is not accidental. It is a system, the colonial system. During the colonial era, France called Burkina Faso Upper Volta. They laid the Abidjan-Niger Railway. But that railway was not for carrying our people. It was for carrying our cotton, our gold, our raw materials to the port in Ivory Coast. Resources flowed out. Nothing came back. After independence, that railway collapsed. Roads remained neglected. Burkina remained one of Africa's most isolated countries. And what did the West tell us? Your geography is your destiny. You have no coastline. This is as far as you go. Thomas Sankara did not believe that. When he came to power in 1983, he said, "Imperialism looks for spineless peoples." Sankara began road construction. He mobilized the people. He tried to renovate the railway. He aimed to complete the Ouagadougou-Tembao line, to connect the manganese mines in the north to the port. But in 1987, he was assassinated. Traore came to power, and the road projects, the railway dream, the infrastructure vision, were all buried with him. Traore ruled for 27 years. For 27 years, he was France's most loyal ally. For 27 years, he did everything the IMF asked. And after 27 years, 73% of the 15,000-kilometer road network was still dirt. The legacy of the man celebrated as a Democrat for 27 years, dirt roads. The legacy of the man branded a dictator for 3 years, an 8-lane expressway. You decide who serves his people. 37 years later, we are picking up Sankara's cause from the ground. In October 2024, I launched the Fosomebo initiative. Fosomebo, Foso means homeland in Moore. Mebo means build in Diula. Build the homeland. This is not just an infrastructure program. This is a call for national mobilization, summoning Sankara's spirit. What did we do? The state purchased over 1,000 machines in a single order. Bulldozers, graders, asphalt mixers, trucks. We refused to pay billions of CFA per kilometer to private companies. We established our own road brigades, our own engineers, our own workers, our own machines. Region by region, brigades formed, each region building its own roads. Target 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers of road per year. Let me repeat that number. 3,000 to 5,000 kilometers per year. The total 4,000 kilometers built in 60 years. We are aiming to match that in a single year. Impossible? They told us everything was impossible. They said producing 94 tons of gold was impossible. We went from 57 to 94. They said nationalizing Endeavor Mining was impossible. We nationalized it. They said building the first gold refinery was impossible. We are building it. They said expelling France was impossible. We expelled them. Impossible is the colonizers' favorite word. We erased it from our vocabulary. Now, let me explain the strategic importance of the Ouagadougou-Bobo-Dioulasso Expressway. Burkina Faso is landlocked, but to our south and southwest lie Ivory Coast, Ghana, Togo, Benin, all opening onto the Atlantic. Abidjan Port, Lomé Port, Tema Port, Cotonou Port. These are the Sahel's gateways to the world. Bobo Dioulasso sits in Burkina's southwest, 100 kilometers from the Ivory Coast border. When this expressway is completed, an unbroken corridor opens from our capital to the port of Abidjan. This expressway is the final and most critical link in the Abidjan-Yamoussoukro-Ouagadougou axis. What does this mean? Trucks will move goods faster, safer, cheaper. Transport costs will drop 30 to 40%. Burkina's products, gold, cotton, shea butter, livestock, will reach world markets at competitive prices. Import costs will fall. Towns along the route, Borimo, Houndé, the villages at Bobo's Gateway, will come alive. New jobs, fuel stations, rest stops, repair shops, logistics hubs. An expressway is not just asphalt, it is an economic ecosystem. A landlocked country connecting itself to the sea through its own highway corridor. Geography is not destiny. Strategy is destiny. And construction runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I called it infernal pace. Shift-based work, day and night. No pauses, no holidays. Why this pace? Because there is a classic pattern with major infrastructure in Africa. It starts, then it stops. Budget overruns, contractors change. A 5-year project stretches to 15, costs triple. It either stays unfinished or is obsolete by completion. This has happened in country after country. Foreign-sourced projects, foreign contractors, foreign debts, and always the same result: delay, corruption, disappointment. We are doing it differently. Our own contractors, our own budget, our own pace. The only authority we answer to is our people. We also partner with Japan's International Cooperation Agency, JICA, applying the do-no technique, Japanese for wrapping earth in a strong bag. Local materials, sand, soil, gravel, packed into durable bags and compacted. Low cost, high durability, built with local resources. Engineers from 12 districts of Ouagadougou and 5 from Bobo Dioulasso trained in the method. Japanese engineering discipline meets Burkinabe determination. But the most beautiful part of this story is not the numbers, not the engineering, not the budget. Fosomebo became a people's movement. Citizens contribute voluntarily, money, materials, labor. Companies donate cement. Farmers offer their vehicles. Young people spend their holidays on construction sites. And there is one story that makes my voice tremble when I tell it. In the city of Kaya, 118 children, aged 7 to 15, saved from their holiday pocket money and bought 5 bags of cement to donate to Fosomebo. 7-year-old children, instead of spending their holidays on play, they bought cement for their country. Is this dictatorship? Western media labels us military junta builds roads. If a 7-year-old buys cement with pocket money, is that coercion? If disabled citizens come to construction sites doing what they can, is that oppression? If students voluntarily join road brigades during school break, is that tyranny? No. This is a nation awakening, a people claiming ownership of their country. Those who cannot understand Fosomebo's spirit cannot understand Burkina's soul. Some revolutions are fought with bullets. Fosomebo's revolution is fought with graters, with cement mixers, with human hands that refuse to stand idle. Now look at the big picture. The 332-kilometer expressway is only the beginning. I repeat, only the beginning. Our vision: connect all of Burkina Faso's regional capitals with expressways. Every regional center linked to Ouagadougou and to each other by motorway. The Koudougou-Yako Road was initially planned as a standard 2-lane road. I said, no, this will be an expressway, 2 by 2 lanes. We invest in the future, not the past. Look at what has happened since 2022. Gold revolution, 94 tons production, $18 billion total revenue, 5 mines nationalized, Fosomebo established, first gold refinery under construction, national gold reserve being created. Food sovereignty, food self-sufficiency declared in 2025, 7.14 million tons of grain harvest, 17.6% increase. The country that depended on aid now feeds itself. Security, Operation Ice Wall reclaimed dozens of towns, thousands of displaced people returned home, and now infrastructure, 332-kilometer 8-lane expressway, self-funded, 24/7 construction, 5,000 kilometers per year target. All of this while fighting a war, while battling Al-Qaeda and ISIS-linked armed groups, while surviving 5 assassination attempts, while Western media slanders us daily. The Relance Plan, adopted January 29, 2026. A 36 trillion CFA franc national development framework for 2026-2030. $60.3 billion. 2/3 financed from our own resources. Security, state reform, human capital, infrastructure, and economic transformation. 4 pillars. The Alliance of Sahel States. Together with Mali and Niger, we are deepening regional corridor integration. This expressway is not just a Burkina project. It is the Sahel's corridor to the sea. When completed, trade from Mali and Niger will also use this route. 3 countries united, connecting the Sahel to the Atlantic. I did not sit in this chair to build a career, not to collect titles. I sit in this chair to defend my people's dignity. And that dignity must have a concrete expression, not just in words, but transformed into asphalt, concrete, and steel. Private companies wanted 500 million to 1 billion CFA per kilometer. With Fosomebo, our own brigades, our own machines, our own labor, the cost per kilometer drops dramatically. No middlemen, no commissions. We are not financing a European company's profit margin. Every franc goes to the road. This model, the sovereign infrastructure model, sets a precedent for Africa. Ghana, Mali, Niger are already studying it. A joint infrastructure strategy will be developed within the Alliance of Sahel States framework. Our own machines, our own engineers, our own budget. Burkina Faso is landlocked. We cannot change that, but we can transcend geography. The 332-kilometer expressway is the first step of that transcendence. Silence is the colonizer's most powerful weapon. Burkina Faso is building its own road, both figuratively and literally. And on this road, no colonizer has a toll booth. No foreign corporation collects a fee. Africa is not a beggar, not a battlefield, not a warehouse. Africa is rising and paving its own way. Every kilometer of asphalt is an independence manifesto. Every interchange is a declaration of sovereignty. Wake up, fight imperialism, decolonize mines, and build your country with your own hands. Glory to our nations, honor to our nations, victory to our nations. Homeland or death, we shall conquer.